And it's time for us to take a look at some of our national and international headlines for Tuesday, September 26th, 2017. North Korea says that Donald Trump declared war in his latest Twitter announcements over the weekend, in which he basically said that Kim Jong-un wasn't going to be around much longer. Well, they say, oh, that's a declaration of war, and they've now threatened to shoot down U.S. jets that are not even in North Korean airspace. The White House responded by saying that North Korea's claim that Trump declared war is absurd, and that's going to be my subject of commentary today. The North Korean embassy in London was on lockdown as the bomb squad moved in for a controlled explosion of a suspicious device. And a new report says that Kim Jong-nam's brutal death was meant to horrify the rest of the world. You recall back in, I believe it was February, when Kim Jong-un's half-brother was murdered by a couple of prostitutes putting VX nerve agents on him. This is very, very sloppy. I mean, everybody can tell that these prostitutes were doing this. They could even see the North Korean handlers right there. Well, maybe it wasn't sloppy. Maybe it was meant to horrify the rest of the world. This Uber versus London thing is getting stranger. As, of course, London's saying Uber can't operate anymore. Now, Uber has apologized, saying, hey, we got things wrong. So we'll see where this goes next. Anthony Weiner, sentenced to 21 months in jail for sexting an underage girl. And Iran's test launch of a new ballistic missile that happened last week apparently didn't happen last week. It was a fake. The footage that was sent out, and everybody's like, oh, no, another missile test by Iran. It was actually the test that they did back in January that ended with the explosion shortly after takeoff. The fact that it was met by an angry tweet by President Trump, maybe that was the whole point, was to get him to blow off some more steam. The latest supplies of S-400 systems, that's the anti-aircraft missiles defense, going to Turkey, could begin within the next 2 years. And a former U.S. senator has called on India and the United States to go for pre-emptive strikes to destroy Pakistan's nuclear assets. Iraqi Kurds counting the referendum votes. They turned out in record numbers. We'll know in about 72 hours or so, at least 72 hours from the time the polls close at 6 p.m. on Monday local time, or whether or not the Kurds will have declared for themselves an independent country. And the latest Republican plan to defeat Obamacare looks doomed, as now Susan Collins of Maine said that no, she is not going to vote for that bill. There are more stories that we don't have time for, including the rise in anti-Semitism in the Labour Party in Britain, the strategy behind the anti-same-sex marriage campaign in Australia, and the double hurricane hell as a giant Atlantic superstorm is headed toward Britain next week. You want more of those stories? Become a subscriber at RadioFreeSpeech.com.